This is a footwear review, having a look at a couple of models from the company Vivobarefoot. Here we have their raw model, and this is the Offroad Mid. Vivobarefoot is a company marketing shoes for the barefoot running community. Barefoot shoes, you might think a contradiction in terms, but we're not going to go into all the issues around barefootism here. If you go onto the web, you can find a whole world of controversy and debate all about the whole topic. Anyway, I've been wearing their shoes exclusively for a year now, just as everyday footwear. Over a year, I'd say. The context in which I'm actually going to evaluate these shoes is that of a 2-week walking holiday on the southern coast of Crete in summer. Not walking every day by any means, mind you. Of the 2 weeks, probably a week actual walking. The climate in Crete that time of year, very hot, very, very hot, very dry. And the terrain on the coast, got sandy, stony beaches, and trails and tracks, quite difficult ones, very rocky, very sharp rock, a lot of scree, of which more later, and the type of vegetation you'd expect in an arid environment, very hardy, very goat-proof, thorny, sharp scrub. So, starting with the raw model, take a look. It's got sole that Vivo talk a lot about when you go and look at their website. The sole they developed. Suede shoe. This shoe gets a 10 out of 10 for me for a lightweight summer, hot weather shoe. Very breathable, very light, very, very comfortable. Not obviously a trekking shoe by any means, but on a beach that's too hot for bare feet, it's fantastic. Has an inner in it that I don't normally wear. And the other thing about this shoe is that it's a fantastic travel shoe, like a pair of slippers or something. Folds up easy, you can just drop it into a rucksack or a bag, and very light, you don't know they're near it. And yeah, I'd give them 10 out of 10 for their intended purpose. Great shoes. If I compare them with the neighbours here, this pair of shoes Vivo market as being for hiking. And if we turn them over, you'll see that they have a tracked sole. Not a rigid shoe at all. Still very lightweight. Leather uppers. There's a kind of rubberish style rand all around the edge, like you might find on an approach shoe. Cambrel lining. So it kind of looks pretty much like a lot of similar shoes, except that it has doesn't have the built-up sole that you might expect to find in a lot of shoes, which are not described as barefoot or minimalist. Anyhow, this isn't the actual pair that I wore on the holiday. I'll bring them down and show you those. This is the actual pair. These are the insoles that come with them. As you can see, there is still some Crete on them. And I would say that in the field, in that terrain, these shoes suffered somewhat from the syndrome of a chain is only as strong as the weakest link, because if you take a look at this point on both shoes, a major problem developed. Probably the sharpness of the terrain, the rocks, punctured the rand, that I mentioned earlier, allowing the ingress of grit, which is very sharp in Crete, and starting to abrade inside and causing the beginning of separation of the sole unit from the uppers, which is obviously bad news when you're on a walking holiday. If I'd have been doing more walking, I would have been in trouble because I don't think the sole would have stayed, would have survived. I've actually got a little sample here of some of the grit. It's small but extremely sharp stuff. And once it's in, it plays havoc, and gluing, etc. didn't really work. So these shoes, if you're going for a little stroll in an English country lane or something, or a woodland track that's got good shit down or something, sandy, whatever, I don't know, they're nice, they're comfortable, etc. But in any serious terrain, I'd forget about it. What I would recommend are these. I wore these a couple of years ago in the same place, and I wish I took them on this occasion. This is a pair of boots by a German company called Lowa. They're called Zephyr Mid TFs. It's a kind of desert boot. Lowa make a whole range of boots, including a wide range of desert boots as well. They have some with higher uppers, some with Gore-Tex membrane, but these ones, the Mid TFs, Zephyr, have no membrane. They're not waterproof at all, but they are extremely breathable, very robust. They have this armouring around them here, which is fantastic in that kind of terrain you're going to find in Crete, for example, or in mountains. There's a lot of flex in the boot, so it's very comfortable. It's very light for these sort of things. But it also does have rigidity, gives you a platform on certain types of rocky terrain, which is very, very helpful. And the other good thing about Lowa boots is that they come in half sizes, which is very helpful in terms of getting a good fit. So, for Crete in summer, this would be a fantastic combination.